Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back on my series on stories from the Puranas. And today we'll be talking about a very interesting and important discussion, or a topic rather. Um, and this topic is going to talk about cause and effect. And what I mean by cause and effect is that we as humans are living this world, but we need to understand as to where did this universe, this world, come from. The entire universe with all the planets and all the stars and everything, where did it come from? Who created this? And there's something called a universal dissolution. What does that mean? And then what happens after the universal dissolution? And whom are we related to? Where do we come from? Where do we go to? So this is a very important topic for all of us. And this video is coming directly from the Puranas, so I will request you to have firm faith and belief in it. And this is going to be kind of a story. It is actually mentioned as a story in the Purana as to how goddess Lakshmi is talking to Lord Vishnu, giving us the secrets about the universe, where we came from, where we go to, who creates, who preserves, and who destroys. As we know that, the creator is Brahma, the preserver is Vishnu, and the destroyer is, of course, Shiva. So the Puranas say that once Vishnu, or Lord Vishnu, or Deva Janardhana, that's another name for Vishnu, was lying on a banyan leaf. There's a banyan tree and it has leaves. So he was lying on a banyan leaf, and he was thinking very hard, quite astonished and surprised he himself was about the universe. And then Devi Mahalakshmi, as whom we know that Devi Mahalakshmi is the consort of Mahavishnu, or Deva Janardana, you can call him. When she saw Deva Janardana, or Lord Vishnu, in deep thought and quite surprised and astonished and trying to figure out, she smiled and said, "O Vishnu, why are you becoming so astonished?" And before this, since times immemorial, you know, she's talking about immemorial times, she's not saying, well, 10,000 years or 100,000 years. She's saying since time immemorial. There have been many dissolutions. So the universe has been dissolved several times, which in Sanskrit is called pralaya. And then she says there have been many creations, which in Sanskrit is called srishti. Srishti. Okay? And then she explains to him and tries to remind Lord Vishnu that at the beginning of every srishti, or creation, you come into existence first. And every time I get united with you. Now, you have forgotten all this. You're surprised. And this is the time when, of course, after the universal dissolution, once again, Lord Vishnu appears and he's lying down on that banyan leaf on the seas. Okay? So she kind of reminds him that, it has been happening, you've come first into existence, and then there's creation, and there's, destruction and dissolution. And I always come and get united with you. So you have forgotten it under the spell of Mahashakti. Now, Mahashakti is the supreme goddess. Okay, you can call her Mahashakti, Mahamaya, whatever you like to call her. So, and then Mahalakshmi says that that highest Mahashakti is transcendent of all the gunas. Now, as we know that there are three kinds of gunas. One is the Sattva guna, the other is the Rajas guna, and the third is the Tamas guna. And I've had other videos in the past which will describe you and explain you in detail as to what these gunas mean. But that's what Goddess Lakshmi is telling Lord Vishnu, that she is the highest Mahashakti, or the highest supreme goddess, who's transcendent of all the gunas, who's beyond all these guna of sattva, rajas, and tamas, these three gunas. But you and I are with gunas. So Goddess Lakshmi is telling Lord Vishnu that you and I have gunas. And I am the Shakti of Sattva Guna, or I am the goddess of Sattva Guna. So she's trying to distinguish herself with the Mahashakti, the supreme goddess. She's saying and acknowledging that she is the goddess and Lord Vishnu is the god, but they have not transcended beyond the gunas. They are still under a guna, which is a pure guna, the purest form of guna, or an element or a nature which one can have, the purest form of nature which one can have, which is called the sattva guna. And Vishnu and Shakti, who are united, every time there is a recreation of the universe, are endowed with that sattva guna, that purity, that guna, that element, that nature of purity. Okay? And I am known as Mahalakshmi. And after you're born, then Prajapati Brahma comes into existence from your navel lotus. So there's a lotus which appears, there's a little stem which appears, and then that stem goes up the water, and that on that stem there is a lotus, and on that lotus Lord Brahma appears, and Brahma is full of rajas guna. Okay, and he's the one who will create the three worlds. So here the Puranas are describing the three worlds. Okay, not just this earth, but the heavens and the patala loka, which is, the three worlds. And then they will come into existence because Prajapati Brahma, Prajapati means, Lord of the beings. That's how he is described as. Prajapati Brahma will appear from the navel lotus of Lord Vishnu, and he will create the three worlds, the heavens, the earth, and the Patala Loka. And then he will perform severe austerities and tapasya. And because of these severe austerities which he does, he will create the three worlds. So it's just not that he's going to appear from the lotus and start creating. He will go into meditation. He will do tapasya, or severe austerities, or deep meditation for thousands of years. And then he will acquire that power to create. And then he will create the three worlds. Okay? And then Devi Lakshmi goes on to remind Lord Vishnu that highly intelligent Brahma will first create the five elements, the Mahabhutas. So what are the five elements? It's Prithvi, Jal, Vayu, Agni, Akash. Prithvi means earth, Jal means water, Vayu means air, Akash means space, and Agni means fire. So these are the five elements which we see, which the whole universe is composed of. It is either the earth, or the water, or the space, or the air, or the fire. There's nothing else beyond these five elements. And this is going to be created by Lord Brahma, who's also called Prajapati Brahma, first. And then later on, he'll create the worlds and the beings in them. So this is a kind of a reminder which Goddess Lakshmi is giving to Lord Vishnu, who is lying on that banyan tree in the seas. Okay? And then, after Prajapati Brahma creates the three worlds, he will also, out of his body, Rudra is going to appear, which is another name for Lord Shiva. Okay, and that's when Prajapati Brahma, as described in the ancient scriptures, is described as when he gets angry, out of his brows, out of his eyebrows, or actually the middle of the point where there are the eyebrows, the the Agya Chakra as we call it, that is going to create Rudra, okay, who's another name for Shiva. So this is how universe is recreated again and again. And after Rudra is born, he will also practice severe austerities and meditation and tapasya. And he will also acquire Shakti, or his power, or his powerful tamaguna, which will destroy this universe when the universe is ready to be destroyed. And then again, the cycle is going to keep going on and on and on. So this is what, is being described by goddess Lakshmi to god Vishnu. So she says, okay, so now I have come to you for this work of creation, so take me as your wife, or Vaishnavi rather. Vishnu's wife is also called Vaishnavi, full of sattva guna. So she says, I'm full of sattva guna. And then I will stay forever in your breast. That's where Lakshmi stays, in the breast of Lord Vishnu. And then when God Vishnu heard this, he said, I have understood and I realized what you have told me. But tell me something. I heard a half stanza in clear words. Can you tell me who was speaking that half stanza? It's not a full stanza, or a half shloka. I heard that. Can you tell me who spoke that? And I'll understand this secret. So Devi Mahalakshmi, his consort, smiled on this and said, okay, I'm going to tell you in detail what this is about. Okay? The prime force, or the Mahashakti, which is beyond or transcended beyond the three gunas, okay, she's the one who uttered this auspicious semi-stanza or a half stanza or a half shloka, which is the essence of all the Vedas, the four Vedas. As we know, the four Vedas are Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. So that half stanza, the half shloka, is the essence of the Vedas, and which what you heard, because Vishnu heard something very clearly, that is coming from the Mahashakti, and that is the essence of the Vedas. So she also tells him that you have the highest grace of that Mahashakti on you, and she spoke the greatest secret to you through this half stanza for your benefit, because this is the essence of the Vedas and the Shastras. So keep this half stanza or half shloka in your heart. Never forget it. And this has been given to you by the Mahashakti, the ultimate Devi or the ultimate goddess, because she loves you most. And once Lord Vishnu heard these words of Mahalakshmi, the four-armed Vishnu took that half stanza as a mantra to be repeated in his mind continuously. Okay? And then the secret, after he got the secret revealed by Devi Mahalakshmi to Lord Vishnu, after some time Brahma was born out of that stem which appeared from his navel, and then there was a lotus and Lord Brahma appeared. And then the story goes, which I've probably discussed earlier, about the two demons called Madhu and Kaitaba, who were killed by Lord Vishnu, and then the earth was created from their Medha, and that's why the earth is called Medhini. Please refer to my earlier videos on the creation of this earth, which is also, stories from the Puranas. And then after Brahma, who was actually terrified by these two demons, Madhu and Kaitaba, were killed by Vishnu, Brahma then asked Lord Vishnu, O Lord of the Devas, what japam are you doing? What are you repeating? What mantra are you doing? Is there some other body more powerful than you? Now here it's very interesting. Devi Mahalakshmi, or goddess Mahalakshmi, opened up the secret to God Vishnu, and he understands everything and starts repeating that half stanza which was given or uttered by the supreme goddess, the Mahashakti. And Devi Mahalakshmi explained this to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, of course, after Brahma was born and after he killed Madhu and Kaitaba, started to continuously recite this half stanza or this mantra. Then Brahma, who was not aware of this mantra and the secret, asked him, and he says, "Is there anybody more powerful than you?" Because all he saw was Lord Vishnu was the one who killed Madhu and Kaitaba. So for him, Lord Vishnu was the most powerful. He did not know that any other being could exist which is more powerful than Lord Vishnu. So he asks Lord Vishnu this question. And then Lord Vishnu said that this is the mantra given by the Adya Shakti, or the Supreme Goddess, or the Mahashakti, whatever you want to call it. And she is the cause and effect of everything. Okay, so that's why I've termed this video, or I've titled this video, this story which is coming directly from the Puranas, as cause and effect, as to how the universe is dissolved and how it is recreated and who's responsible for it. And here Vishnu acknowledges the fact that yes, this mantra is of the Mahashakti, the supreme goddess, the Adya Shakti. Adya Shakti is another name for Mahashakti. Okay, and my presiding deity is that Mahashakti, whose mantra I continuously repeat. So this is what Lord Vishnu tells Brahma and opens the secret. So I hope this story was interesting. You enjoyed this story, which is coming once again directly from the Puranas. And meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel and check out my website. There is a link below, and I will see you with an interesting topic on Vedic astrology or in continuation to my series and stories from the Puranas very soon. Goodbye.